Hello, and good time zone. And what is up, gamers? Hi everyone, I'm painting today. I wasn't sure what I was going to do today, and then I ended up being like, man, I really want to paint. And literally as soon as I unmuted the mic just now, I was like, maybe I should have done a gaming stream. I kind of feel like playing a game now. But it's too late, because I can't switch tasks in that way, because I'd have to switch to a different computer, and I'd have to end stream and restart it, and nobody wants that. So we're painting today, hooray. Hi. These are my birds so far. Oh no! Oh no, hold up. Hold up, my PNG tuber is broken. That's better. That's better. That's what you were supposed to see. Hi. Anyways, hello. Leaky's here. Leaky says I missed the behind the scenes futzing. No, you didn't. Nothing happened. Anyways, but yeah, hi. Hi everybody, it's lovely to see y'all. Welcome on in. Hope you're having the loveliest of lovely Thursdays. I had a fine Thursday, I think, in as much as it was fine. There wasn't anything objectively wrong with it, but I also don't really remember what happened or what I did. And a part of that is because I literally just now saw a, as I was going to tell Blue Sky that I was live, I saw a Blue Sky post from, Twitch user Rebecca Roney, who, streams on here, and I lurk sometimes, because they're cool, and they do cool stuff. If you like possums, you should be following Reb. Anyways, but as with many streams that I watch, I don't talk much in stream chats a lot of the time, because I am such a shy plum. I'm a shy plum, and I'm a tired plum, and I know it's, like, super bad for, like, maintaining community and getting to know people, but sometimes I just get too shy to talk in a stream. Which is amazing, and I am very intelligent. Anyways, but anyways, excuse me, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so they made a post on Blue Sky about, and I'm assuming this is in reference to, recent news that came about regarding Disney, and they're having struck a deal with one of these, and I don't want to stay on this topic for too long. I really don't. I hate it. But Disney apparently having struck a deal with, like, one of them, sort of like AI companies. It's not like, we all call it AI, but we know there's nothing intelligent about it, right? Like, I can just start from there. That will let users, like, generate a short film of Disney characters and stuff, and I'm just like, this just makes me so sad. It just devalues, it just devalues the artistry and creativity and work that went into producing, like, these films, these works, these characters. If you go and, like, look behind the scenes of, like, old school Disney animated films and stuff, and the skill and the work, and it's incredible. And just to be like, hey, generate me some Garbo that vaguely looks like, I don't know, Cinderella, but she's naked, because people are going to be, like, trying to figure out what they can plug in so that they basically just get, like, porns of Disney, which, like, already exists. Disney is very aware of that. There are, like, folders of adult Disney fan art held by Disney. Because, they're very protective of their IPs, obviously. Which makes me surprised that they would be on side with this. I assume the reason that they're on side with this is because, like, CEO-brained people just see, it's the future, you have to adopt it, and therefore they're like, well, it's the future, so we're gonna adopt it, and probably finding ways to, like, monetize these, like, fan-generated shorts and what have you. If I could make any guess, that has something to... It is in some way, shape, or form designed to make them money at the end of the day. Without having to lift a finger, you know what I mean? But... It just makes me feel so sad. AI's just stealing done badly. It's done badly, yes, and it is so bad. There was that, was it McDonald's that just released an advert, and there was like a statement from the studio that produced this advert about how much work went into creating the prompts and generating shots and, you know, reiterating this, that, and the other to try and get like and like I saw it. I didn't want to see it. I saw it against my will. And it's uncomfortable and bad, and even if I didn't know what it was, if I saw it, I would just be like, this is uncanny, and I don't feel inspired to shop with you having watched this. I don't want to eat your chips. I mean, God, I wish your sweet and sour sauce wasn't so damn delicious, but you know, I can live without it. That's the you know, it's just, the thing is, like, I have also been involved in the production of, like, actual, like, live action advert production. Usually filming takes like a day, right? You know, it's like a 30-second or less spot. It's not going to take more than a day to film it. Filming takes like a day. Obviously, there's, you know, like, casting, pre-production, post-production, sets, yada yada yada. But, like, you can do an entire whole ass advert beginning to end using actual, like, actors and, like, cast and crew. It's gonna be less expensive and take less time than generating slop out of the plagiarism machine. So this cannot be a sustainable filmmaking process. It is not cost effective. No one likes it. And it takes, like, a stupidly long time to get a shot that in real life, again, would have taken a day to film the whole ass spot instead of, like, 6 or 7 weeks of putting in 200%, typing in, you know, man gets hit in the head by Christmas tree somewhere in London, right? Like, I'm sorry, what sort of accolades do you want for that? You didn't do anything. Typing up a prompt is not doing something. That's trying to figure out the right combination of words to get it to generate something that doesn't look like, you know, the person ends up, you know, developing a third eyebrow halfway through the shot. Like, why would you? It's embarrassing. The thing is, anyone who, I'm sorry, I said I didn't want to talk about this, and I'm almost done. It's embarrassing, and the people championing this technology should be embarrassed. It's making your work worse, and it's not saving you time or money. Why do you want this? Why do you are so... It's so embarrassing. Anyways, let me catch up with chat. Leaky says, I mean, there are naughty single frames hidden in actual classic Disney animations. I know. And I was going to come onto this, but my mind went off in a million directions, as it often does. I apologize. It's my, I don't apologize. It's my ADHD, and it's fun. Anyways, but a lot of, not all of them, but there is a non-zero number of artists who work for Disney who are out there drawing, like, spicy Disney fan art. It's not just horny fans, it's also people who are actually artists for Disney. You know, and I'm sure this is the kind of thing that gets, like, pulled out at, like, Christmas parties and whatever, and it's like, oh, ho, 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 look, it's Cinderella, but she's got her boobies out, you know. I'm trying to think of a Disney character, I don't know, Goofy's Big Naturals, whatever. Anyways, Leaky also says, Coke have gone back and faked a behind-the-scenes video with Gen AI concept art. I know, and again, it's like, it's so obvious. And it's so embarrassing that they did that. That they're just like, no, there was artistic process here. It's like, no, this is, like, we know, we can tell. And it's embarrassing that you don't know that. Like, how stupid and unperceptive do you think we are? It's just, it makes me sad. It makes me sad. But yeah, so this was on my mind because I literally just saw a Blue Sky post about just being like, at this point, can we stop giving Disney money and attention and accolades, and there's other creative media out there. Enjoy other creative media. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Leaky. I've got 2 teas today. Here's some creative media. I know it's not nearly as exciting as, like, you know, an adventure film with your favorite characters, but it is some birds. I hope that's neat. But I've got 2 teas today. This is today's advent calendar tea, which is candy cane, and I don't have high hopes about it. It's fine. Part of the reason I don't have high hopes about it is that I looked at the ingredients list and it has stevia leaf listed, which is never a good sign for me. If you're not familiar with stevia, it is also used as, like, a natural 0-calorie sweetener. But it also, it has the general taste and sensory experience of a 0-calorie sweetener for me, which is universally across the board garbo. Like, no offense to people who like them or who need them, because they can't have sugar. I should not have sugar in quantities, but I allow myself a bit of it because sweetener tastes bad, and there are a lot of teas that I just don't think taste right if they're not a little bit sweet. For instance, this is my other tea of today. This is yesterday's tea. I didn't get a chance to drink it yesterday. This is creme brulee tea, and I did add some sugar and milk to it. So I'm having it like builder's style-y, and this is how I feel like this wants to be consumed, because it's caramel it's got like that caramel sort of creamy creme brulee-ish taste to it, which just doesn't like, my brain processes it and gets confused if I taste something that is nominally should be activating the sweet receptors in my mouth and it's not. I don't enjoy that. It just feels discombobulating and bad. It's not like, oh, well, the flavor is sweet, therefore it tastes sweet. No, it tastes like the flavor without the sweetness, which is weird, uncanny, and wrong to me. I realize, again, my very strong reaction to, like, artificial sweeteners and that kind of thing is personal. I don't know if I just have, like, a sensitivity to them, but I was drinking a tea the other day, and it had stevia leaf in it as an ingredient. And what that did was it gave it this, like, back note that was incredibly cloying, but also not sweet at all. Which is a confusing combination, and also not very much fun in my mouth. So, anyways. Leaky says, I watched Flow the other day because who doesn't love an animated film with a scaredy cat and a capybara? Oh, I do like the cappies. I think they are very cute. I like their big sort of like rectangular heads. And the fact that they like to take lazy baths with citrus fruit, that is so relatable. Anyways, I get that with rooibos, says Leaky. Yeah, I'm not a rooibos enjoyer. Of all of the teas and tea-related infusions, it's the one that I'm likely to reach for the least because it has that, like, it wants to be sweet, but it's not kind of vibe. Which I don't get with something like a green tea or, you know, just, like, straight ahead, like, mint leaves or something like that. You know, conversely, I like an unsweetened mint tea. It doesn't feel like it wants, or well, it doesn't feel like it needs to be. Like, it can be. I like a minty sweet situation as well. But it doesn't feel like it needs to be sweet. It can just kind of stand on its own with like, mint. Tastes like leaves and is cold spicy. I enjoy this. Yeah. Anyways, I need to figure out what other colors this needs to be painted in, and then we can look at doing some detail. So, I'm looking it up on my phone. Okay, here's my search from 2 days ago. As always, the color of these things really seems to depend on the, like the lighting in the photo. So, but it's kind of a slate. It's okay. This is the description. How many different colors am I going to have to blend here? The male has a slate black head with a white supercilium, which I'm assuming is his crazy ass eyebrows. A rufous upper breast, mantle, and scapulars form a collar. That's there. The back is sooty black. The wings are black and brownish black, and the tail is black. That's so many different colors of gray to black. Okay. Well, let me begin with slate. And we'll go from there. I'll just try and pick up the most clearly lit photo I can find, which I think is this one. This is a very high res reference. So I'll go with that. Anyways, so yeah, I don't have high hopes about the candy cane tea. I think it's just not necessarily for me. I also do drink a lot of mint tea, so I wouldn't say that I'm super picky about mint tea, but I do drink a lot of it. And this one obviously isn't just straight ahead mint tea. It's got like sort of a candy kind of sweet scent to it. But it also there's black tea in it. It's a black tea blend, so I'm also getting like the like tannic black teaness. I don't know. It's a weird one. It's not my favorite. This one is way nicer. This one is really, really good. This one I could dangerously drink quite a lot of, I think. It's very simple. It's just black tea that's a little bit creamy and has a bit of a caramelly vibe to it. Anyways, okay, so one thing I really need to be mindful of is to make sure I don't paint over the white eyebrowy area, and I wonder if I just want to mark out kind of where that is. I'm not going to do a very good job of this, I fear, but I shall try, because it is truly a gift. And then it kind of fades out toward the back, I feel like. So I'll try. I'm gonna try really hard to do that some justice. Maybe if I bring in like a smaller brush to do that specifically. I think I'm gonna bring in the smaller brush to do that specifically. Because I really don't want to. I don't want to F that up, you know? It's very important that I do justice to the brow. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's wonderful. I am gonna open one of my paint palettes because it would probably be helpful if I had paint to do this. So this is I'm gonna start with the 1930 set, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of this Kawagane, sort of blue-ish, very grayish blue to my blackish. I say blackish because it's not black, it's neutral tint, but it's basically black. But the idea, the idea behind neutral tint as a color is to just kind of, you're supposed to add it to other colors to bring their vibrancy down. Though if I want to like deepen colors, one thing that I don't do often enough, but I really like doing is kind of underpainting with the like opposite of that color. So if I'm doing something red and I want to like shade in a bit of it, if you do a shadow in like green as an underlayer, that creates a really dynamic shadow. It doesn't make it look green, it just deepens it in a way that like it also brings down the vibrancy of the red. It's a fun thing to do. I'm trying to reopen my phone so I can see my reference picture. Thank you. Oh my god. Ugh. Okay. Again, on this first pass, I'm not going to be too concerned about getting masses of texture into here, because I will be doing that with my subsequent goes, where I'll be adding in like texture and shading and all that stuff. So I'm just realizing I don't have enough of the color here, so I'm gonna make a little more, but try not to change it too much, because I just want to be relatively dark for starters, because it is going to be close to black, but it also reflects quite a lot of light, so it doesn't want to be like full on black, you know what I mean? Okay. Anyways, I hope everyone's had a good week so far. I feel like I probably missed some messages on chat, and I'm sorry. I do apologize. But I hope you've all had a good week so far. I don't remember what I did. I think Leaky mentioned having finishing work early because some sort of Christmas do was happening, and actually I did have the afternoon. I did take the afternoon off today to kind of chill as well. But there were some jollities happening elsewhere that I declined to participate in, because I'm a boring old non-fun enjoyer. That's why. that is very untrue, but I've never been a huge fan of a lot of social gatherings and enforced jollity, and especially when you know there's going to be like food and you have dietary restrictions and you need to like let them know about your dietary restrictions in advance, and you don't know what you're going to get that's going to be, is it going to be edible? And there are certain situations like that where it's fine. Like if I was flying in an aeroplane and I was going somewhere and there was a meal included in the flight, and it turns out that that the meal ain't no good for me, like I have ways of accommodating that. Namely, I just bring snacks with me. But if you're going to like a catered event, it's not generally, I think, seen as like cool in the same way to just like bring your own snacks. I don't know, at least certainly I would feel a little too, people are gonna ask questions if I bring my own snacks, you know what I mean? Or I'm like turning away the plate of food that is offered to me. That feels really, really bad, actually. So, and especially if like, if you did, specify, hey, sort of I'm veggie and gluten-free and I'm allergic to mushrooms, and then they bring you some food stuff and you're like, oh, I'm also not going to be able to eat this. And they're like, oh, well, we made an effort to accommodate you and you're just going to not eat it? Okay, well, fine. Go, you stink. Like, No, that kind of attention makes me feel bad. So, hard pass on that for me. Anyways. Would rather just be in my house, beavering away on some stuff that I wanted to get done, you know what I mean? Did I get a lot done this afternoon? No, I most certainly did not. I tried to, and then I realized, oh, it's 3 p.m. The afternoon is basically over. And I've done very little to show for it. Great, grand, love that for me. Good job. Anyways, how's that for an eyebrow? Do we love it? Do we hate it? Are we neutral? I think this guy is looking pretty stinking cute. I do. And I hope you like them too. I'm adding a little bit more color just because I feel like some of this is a little bit too just gray. Again, there's going to be the addition of like shading and texture and stuff, and I don't want it to be like perfectly. Are you allergic to all those mushroom adjacent meat substitutes in that case? I can eat corn fine. Weirdly, I don't know. I'm gonna assume that there's something they do to it or something in like just straight ahead mushrooms that is different enough that I seem to be fine with corn. I have it on the I used to have it more often. I have it less often now because I also can't have wheat, and there's wheat in a lot of corn products. Specifically all the nuggies I used to enjoy. I miss nuggies so much. They do have gluten-free chicken nuggies, but they have chicken in them, which guess what I don't eat. Yippee! It's fine. I did find a brand that does gluten-free, like, vegan chicken nuggies, though, and, oh, friends, I'm in heaven. It makes me so, the only place that I found them is, like, on Ocado, though, and I don't normally, I don't get my groceries delivered super often, and normally when I get my groceries delivered, I don't use Ocado, but, I placed an order with them a few weeks ago, because they also had gluten-free Lebkuchen. Like, the big, you know the German, okay, I don't know why, but here in the UK, Christmas and Christmas treats are very German-coded. There's so much German Christmas stuff here. We have the German Christmas markets where you can go get Glühwein and, like, various types of Wurst, you know? Like, that's very much a thing here. And I find it strange, because it's just like, did we just not have enough Christmas culture, so we had to just import it from Germany? There's probably some kind of history there. I think, no, I know why. It's Queen Victoria, isn't it? It's Queen Victoria, isn't it? If I had to get, that's gotta be it. Because we have, like, we have, like, Christmas pudding and Christmas cake and, gingerbread and that kind of thing. But you also have, to, I would say a pretty great extent, a lot of, like, Lebkuchen and, in like, the supermarkets and stuff. Stollen, Pfeffernüsse, my beloveds, I miss them so much. I grew up eating Pfeffernüsse in Canada for some reason. They did have them at our local supermarket as well. But, like, we didn't have Lebkuchen to the extent that the British do. Anyways, the like, traditional ones that are, like, circular and are a gingerbread biscuit dough that's usually got, like, almonds and, some candied citrus fruit in it, as well as all the spices and stuff, and is baked on a round of rice paper for some reason. They had a gluten-free one, and I'm very excited. But those seem to be fairly ubiquitous in the supermarchés here as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's, like, very German-ish that you see a lot of. I think Stollen and, like, Lebkuchen and that kind of thing is definitely the biggest ones. Zimtsterne also you do see from time to time, which I was delighted to learn are gluten-free, but they often have hazelnuts in them, so oh no! We are a no hazelnuts household! Oh, beans! Or just nuts in general, apart from almonds, because of my moderator/spouse and his nut allergy sensitivity situation. Life's tough. Anyways. But it's fine. But I have considered making my own simchana, but I have a recipe that involves, for holiday baking of the cookie variety that I've been making for about a gazillion years that involves grinding up almonds, cinnamon, but also jam. This year it's raspberry because that's the jam that I could find. I really wanted to get plum jam because I think it's super, super nice. I learned yesterday that there is a Finnish biscuit, like Christmas biscuit, that I really want to try. I don't think it's one that I could make for the two of us here at home necessarily because it involves making like a prune jam. And my moderator/spouse is not a prune enjoyer. I am a maximum prune enjoyer. Like, to the extent that when I was a small child, I liked a prune snack so much that I had to be forcibly removed from the prunes because my mommy was scared that I was going to give myself tummy troubles and have to go to the toilet a lot. So, that's how much I love prunes, and I still do as an adult. I love prunes, I love prune juice, I love prune jam. And I haven't had these in years either, but, oh man, there was this bakery in New York City, that did, it was a kosher bakery, so they did all the traditional Jewish bakes, and they did prune-filled hamantaschen, and they were my favorite. They're so good. I miss them so much. I'm pretty sure that bakery's closed, I think, probably, if I had to guess. Most of the things that I liked when I used to visit New York City have closed. Sigh. But with that being said, I'll probably, who knows, I may never visit New York City again at this point. I have no plans to visit the United States at any point in the near future, all things considered, but enough said about that. Moving on. Christmas cookies. Hey, Samantha, welcome in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you and welcome. Sorry, I'm just like, very, wired today, apparently. And hello, Ernesto, as well. I hope you're well. Welcome in. Hope that you're having a lovely Thursday. Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Anyways. Oh, I do excuse myself. Okay, let me get a look at the color of these. Oh, there is some serious dimension to these wings. There is a lot going on here in terms of wing color, so, it's gonna be interesting to try and this bird just has like so many different shades of brown and black and bluish black and but I don't know what to do with all of it. It's confusing. Samantha says, I don't think you need to apologize for talking on your own stream. I know, but I like to also keep in touch with chat. Leaky says, please have your passport and social media history ready for inspection. Yep, genuinely. And I think I can say this as someone who has no plans to visit America anytime in the near future. That part of the reason that I do tend to be cautious about what I share online. Not that I have anything, to conceal, but I tend to not be very opinionated about things. I struggle not to be opinionated about, but there are certain things that I try not to be opinionated about because, if I do end up traveling abroad at some point, I don't want to get detained by passports for having tweeted something one time. And they're like, oh, we've taken offense to this for some reason. You can't be here. And it's just like, okay, well, I'll just fly back home, I guess. And they're like, no, you can't do that. It's just, I don't like that. I feel like at least at this stage, that's unlikely to happen with places I'm likely to travel to, like Canada or Denmark. Anyways, from the government that brought you, but why wouldn't Canada want to be another U.S. state, Lamau? Do you want a numbered list? Do you want an internet-friendly numbered list for that? Anyways, I think it's because Burb is magic. Burb is the specialist and the wonderfulest and the best, and I love them so much. Just listen, this bird at this point, I think, looks so stupid. This bird looks stupid, but this bird looks exactly like it does in real life. it is orb-shaped and just has a very clearly delineated pink tummy, and the rest of its body is sort of like a grayish black. Like, that's it. They're just jealous of the poutine. And you know what? I was speaking with a Canadian yesterday, I think, about poutine and how much she misses poutine. I miss poutine. You can't get proper poutine here for the most part, like, because it's very hard to find, like, the cheese curds. You know, you gotta have les grains if you're gonna make poutine. You can't just like shred cheddar over it because that's just cheesy chips with gravy. The closest that I found generally is either to use like, if I take like you know, sort of a fresh ball of mozzarella, it's a little too melty and it doesn't squeak. But I've also tried halloumi, and I find the thing with halloumi is that it doesn't melt quite enough and it's too salty. So, like, both is bad. Both is still delicious, but both is, like, neither is... If I could somehow, like, merge the two into a mildly salty, squeaky cheese that melts just a little bit, well, then I would just have cheese curds. Anyways, do you think delivery would bring you something from a Canadian restaurant? I mean... I don't think the driver would be paid enough to do, like, a transatlantic swim. I don't really fancy paying, like, 1,600 pounds for a thing of poutine. You probably have to tip pretty well. I definitely would if they traveled that far to bring me proper poutine. But on the other hand, I can just also travel to Canada, and then I have, like, the fun side effect of, like, getting to visit my family and, you know, seeing, you know, sort of my nephew and the family dog and that kind of thing. They got a dog. Okay, so my brother and his family got a dog earlier this year, and I haven't met the dog yet, and I really want to meet the dog. He is of unknown breed, probably of various ancestries, and he's black and white, and he's cute as all heck, and his name is Winston. And I've seen pictures and he's really stinking cute and I love him. But I haven't met him in person yet. I haven't met my niece dog either. I also have a niece dog in Japan because I have family-in-law who are from Japan. And I really want to meet my niece dog also, but unfortunately traveling internationally to that length and extent is something that we don't really have the time and money to do more than, like, once every couple of years. And so I haven't had a chance to go meet the niece dog yet, and I'm so sad. I want to meet the niece dog so bad. Also, I'm very... I am nervous about traveling to Japan with, again, like, my dietary restrictions specifically, because I feel like that's going to be, I mean, obviously, you know, you think Japan, you think a lot of food that isn't wheat-based, but then there is a lot of really good baked goods in Japan. Though I did find out about a place in, I want to say, it's either Shinjuku or Shibuya, I can't remember which one of the major neighborhoods in Japan that starts with shi. But it's called I'm Donut, and I say it's called I'm Donut because it literally is I'm Donut ? That's the name of it. But they do gluten-free donuts, and I want to go there so bad. Can I get gluten-free donuts in, like, Oxfordshire? Yeah. Though the one place that sells fresh donuts that I know does them, I do not. Shinjuku, thank you, Q-Juice. It's next to Shinjuku Station. Thank you. That's what I thought. But yeah, according to Leaky, the poutinerie in London ran out of money in 2021. I was so disappointed to see that. Samantha says, clearly the Canadian expats were slacking on their poutine consumption. Listen, if I could have gone, I would have. But unfortunately, you know, like, I wasn't going out and eating a lot of food in 2020. Like most people. I feel like a lot of food places folded around that time for exactly that reason. You're always running on a very tight, like, if you think that, like, food service of any kind is, like, where the massive amounts of dosh is at, like, you are very much mistaken. You will not get rich running a restaurant. Like, it is always extremely tight margins when it comes to food service like that. And then couple that with the the panini, meaning that people for, you know, like a year or two there were significantly more cautious about going out for meals and just weren't able to for a few months. And just not being able to open for a few months was enough for a lot of places to be like, we can't run, and closing. But yeah, so it goes. Anyways, no gluten means a big no to even self-heating ramen. Yes, exactly. Oh man, you know, I actually recently, I went to one of my local grocery stores because they sell the vegetable flavor Indomie instant noodles. Can I have the ramen? No, I can't. But I can have the seasoning packet, and it's the seasoning packet that I like the best in the world. If you've never had vegetable flavor Indomie, I don't know how to explain it to you. It's just the yummiest flavor of instant noodle to me. So I bought like 4 or 5 packets of Indomie vegetable flavor. And I would just like open it up, take out the seasoning packet, put the seasoning packet on just like some rice noodles that I had boiled, and then have that as like a delicious Indomie vegetable noodle soup. And the wheat noodles would be left over for like my moderator / spouse would just like make like noodles with those with like, he just put like an instant miso soup packet or something in it and maybe add some spring onions and there you go. Anyways, he can tell you all about them. He's here. Hi, sweetheart. I was just talking about instant noodles. Anyways, apparently the poutine briefly did poutine by post. I had some. It was excellent. So jealous. 'Twas very tasty, says Sledge. I'm so glad. I'm so glad we found a way that we could both enjoy the noodles we love. We should do that again soon. Maybe, I was gonna say maybe this weekend, but we're doing weird stuff this weekend because we're meeting up with some friends, so our weekly grocery shop is gonna be bizarre. But anyways, hello sunshine, I love you so much. Welcome in. Q2 says, "Hi moderator / spouse, your face is cute." I agree, his face is cute. Anyways, also hi Q2s. Did I say hi? Hello. I was pleasantly surprised that someone else had heard of "I'm Donut?" ? Yeah, not really near shop, and that's fine. That's fine. Anyways, we have plans this weekend, which is unusual for us, and I'm looking forward to it. And when I say plans, I mean like meeting some friends and having a cup of coffee, which is pretty much the level of excitement I'm up for at the moment. Unless you head there whilst I haircut. Ooh, I could do that. Well, yes, my moderator / spouse is also planning to get a haircut, which is very exciting. Gonna have to take a before and after photo so we can remember how your luscious curls look now and how beautiful and handsome your short haircut will also look. I mean, I lived there for 3 months as Q2's. Hell yeah. That helps. Anyways. Okay. I'm gonna... trying to make this plumage look like it does in this photo is gonna be an adventure. Like, that is a weird color. That is a weird color, and there's a lot of texture here, so it kind of makes me feel like I should try and isolate, like, this sort of brownish color that's, like, between the, and then add the sort of darker texture on top. It's definitely brownish, but there's almost like a hint of yellow to it. It's like a yellowish brown, so I'm wondering if I should take a little bit of this sort of deeper ochre brown, which actually looks this is like a weird yellow. I feel like is the best way to describe it. If I take some of this weird yellow and then mix it with I feel like actually the darker brown, but maybe a little bit less of the darker brown. Because I think this brown is too red, so I think I want to use this brown, which is less red. Back to work laters, babe. Have a lovely rest of your day, sweetheart. I love you very much. See you soon. Anyways, that was my moderator / spouse, everyone. We're married, which is why I call him that. And he's also a mod in the channel, which is, again, why I call him that. All right. Yeah, I think this color is nailing it pretty well. I think that'll be good. So I will just paint in, I think, most of there's kind of like some top feathers happening just sort of on this section of the wing, which I might just delineate out with my pencil if I can. This is going to be somewhat, not 100% precise, but hey. kind of like that. Anyways, Samantha saying, Sammy dropping the deep channel lore there. Oh, only the deepest of lores. Hell yeah. The depth of the, to be honest, I don't think there's that much lore, and I don't think it's that deep. I just, there's someone who appears here sometimes who's married, to me. I'm sure there are multiple people who watch the stream who are also married. It's none of my beeswax, frankly. And you don't have to share. Please don't ever feel obligated to share your personal information. You are entitled to keep your private life as private as you want. It's none of my beeswax. And I think that's important and good. I do sometimes think that I try not to encourage it here, but I have been in live streams where it just felt like people were, like, in chat were just really oversharing on the personal information front. And I actually left a stream once. And haven't been back to watch that streamer. Because someone was having a conversation with the streamer that was so personal. Like, things to do with, people's marriages and stuff. It's just stuff that you really, I think, even though you're using a username that's not your real name, it's, you know, in no way traceable back to you necessarily. If sometimes, you know, it's like making an "Am I the asshole" post on Reddit, you know, where if you drop enough very hyper specific personal information, even if you know, your username is nothing to do with your own name. Let's say your username is throwaway123 and you're talking about all these things, but the situation is so highly specific that if someone who happens to know you happens to hear that information, it might be very easy for them to put together that, like, wait a second, you know, like, is that you, Raymond? And then be like, I think Raymond was talking about this thing on a Twitch stream I happened to see, to, like, their wife or something. And I would be very careful about that kind of thing, personally. There's, you know, like, I realize that I feel like I overshare on stream a lot, but there is a lot of information that I am very... that I will not share with anyone because it's personal and private and it's part of my personal private life. And obviously what you do and don't choose to share with the wider internet and the world is 100% your business, but I don't know, just be careful, be cautious, friends. Don't divulge hugely, you know, bombshelly type, you know, like, information, necessarily thinking that you're super safe in doing so, especially when it's, like, highly specific. Like, just, I don't know, remember the BBC, please be careful. But anyways, oh good, we've got a break coming up already. That feels like it's come on real fast. Untraceable, says Leaky. Hell yeah. I'm unmarried, says Leaky, unlike those excellent gnomes, and has appended some gnome husband emotes. I love the gnome I don't know if other people love the gnome husband emotes as much as I love the gnome husband's emotes. I love the gnome husband emotes, though. I think they're very fun. And the gnome husbands, you know, very special to me. They are special little guys, and they are indeed very happily married. Anywho. I feel like I should do some art soon of, like, characters who want some more, like, lore stuff. Okay, so there's this, and then there's, like, almost like a this situation happening around it on this example bird. So I'm gonna try and do that a bit before we... Oh god, I've got less than a minute. It's less than a minute. I'm going as fast as I can. Ah! Paint, panic, panic. Ah! No. Damn it. It's fine. Again, I'm just filling in, like, a color at first here. Shoot, 10 seconds. Heck. Okay, well, listen, you are not going to miss anything during the ad break because I wouldn't do that to you. Whether or not you're subbed, we're going to take a little break and I'm going to pop on the BRB screen so that no one misses any of the sweet, sweet Robin-related content. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. You ain't going to miss anything. Please enjoy the music in the meantime. Have a drink, have a stretch, take your meds if you need to, all that jazz. I'll be back very shortly. BRB, everyone. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Hello. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for waiting. I hope that the BRB wasn't too taxing for you. It's good to be back. Oh. Nope. Wait. Oh, God. You ever... Sorry, I just took a vitamin and it's not going down pleasantly. Sipping my tea. Hopefully that helps. Oh, sometimes when you take... sometimes when you take a vitamin or something and it does not sit very well on the way through your throat. Yeah, that was deeply unpleasant. In fact, I did not enjoy that. That was kind of nasty, but oh well. It's fine, we'll cope. I'm adding some blue back in because I feel like, at least the way the light hits it, it feels like there wants to be like a blue undertone to the black of the tail feathers, and probably also these, to be perfectly honest, but I'll try and bring that in a little bit more intensively in the detail / shading phase, which we'll be getting to very shortly, which I'm very excited about. There we go. Yay! Yippee, it's a bird. It looks thus far silly, but they all look a little silly. I should probably paint in their beaks as well. His beak is a dark colored beak again. So if I pick up some of this, just pop that on there. Hopefully that'll look cute and good. In case you're not familiar, this is the collared bush robin, which is found mostly in Taiwan. And I think they're stinking cute. Obviously I leave the eye to like the last because it's the scariest part for me to paint in. Okay, I'll do the beak on the pink robin now as well, which I believe is just... Here's an image of a pink robin. In case you were wondering just how exaggerated the shape of this is, it's literally just a little round guy with the pinkest tummy you ever did see. They are so heckin' cute. Pretty much the same color of beak as the last guy, so that's nice and easy to do. I think. Doop. Doop, doop. Okay. It's just little and pointy and cute. They look so stupid. They look so stupid. What am I doing? What am I doing with these birds? I don't know. I saw an Instagram reel last night. I was on the Instagram and I saw an Instagram reel of a European robin. And it just made me feel so bad. Because they're just so dang adorable, and I was like, there's nothing I can paint that will be as cute as this actual bird is in real life. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's impossible to do something as objectively hecking adorable as that. I don't think I'm going to be able to pull it off. Um so that was how that went, and I felt kind of bad, but I'm doing it anyways cuz I really enjoy drawing and painting birds. Actually, I think it's fun and a good use of my time. That's too dark. I still don't have any okay, I've got some tissue in my pocket. Okay, that's too dark. Perfect, fixed it. I love being able to do a little blot and just having it come out just as it should be. That's frankly hecking incredible. Now, what color are robins are European bobbin's feet? They look to be kind of a grayish brown also, so that's fairly easy to do. Maybe a little bit, maybe if I add a little bit of this slightly more reddish brown, I might get close. Yeah, there we go, that'll do. Okay. Maybe these legs are a little bit thick, but eh. Not, it's not a problem to have some nice sturdy foots to stand on. I think that's fine. So there we go. Anyways. Yay, cool. Alright. What color are the feet of the American robin? I feel like they're like a yellower, if memory serves, from... Oh, not as much as I thought. I think it depends. The photo references are giving me some interesting responses, in as much as there's actually a reasonable amount of variation depending on the burb in question, I suppose. This one's got kind of a yellowish reddish vibe to it, so I'll use that as my ref. Maybe pop a little bit of that into my brown thusly, but then also add a little bit of this warmer brown to it, and we'll see how that looks. Also, once again, I'm making way more paint than I need for like literally 2 brush strokes, but listen, when you want the color to be right, sometimes you gotta, you know? Yeah, I think that's actually really good. That's working. I think that's nice. Cool. What a friend-shaped bird. Hell yeah. Okay. And then the other two, which I probably should have done first, but here we are. I didn't think of that. So I didn't. I'm gonna guess the pink robin's feet are basically... kind of grayish. It's hard to tell, though. It's hard to tell because they're so tittle. If I can get a slightly more... Yeah. Oh, there's some funky color going on there. Okay. There's some funky color going on, specifically on like the bottom of the feet. So I'm gonna try and do that a little justice. But they do have very, very spindly feet, which is why I've just kind of done them as like lines. I've kind of just done them as like lines because they are so spindly. They're just like that. They're basically sticks. But there is a little bit of... If I can give them just a little sort of like undertone here of this sort of brownish. Like so. It's kind of like that, which is wacky. But there we go. Okay, that's our pink robin feet. And our last one, the collared bush robin. What do your feet look like specifically? Ooh, those are yellow feet. Those are some yellow foots. Okay, wizard. That's fun. That's very, very fun. Okay, once again, yellow. But to that, I'm going to add a little bit of this, like, sort of orangish red. Because these are really vibrant little foots. And I would like to try and do that some justice, because that's really fun. And then they've got, like, these big sort of long black claws on the end of the foot, which is very fun. But they're also still quite thin legs/feet. So let's see what we can do with that. All right, sweet. And then just these insane super long. This is a fancy bird. That's what this bird is. It's a fancy bird. Okay. Just these claws right on the end, like boop. My brush is not wet enough. Heck. I don't want to get too much like water on my brush when I'm doing these tiny little line details, because I don't want it to, you know, like gush. But on the other hand, if you really don't have enough, then you're gonna run into some trouble. It's like it's like they've got nails done, you know? Like they've had nails put on. That's so funny. I love it. I love them. I love this. This is fun. Good. Okay. I guess it's like texture and detail time. I had originally planned to paint like 16 different species of robin, by the way. I don't think I'm going to do all of them on stream, considering this is my second stream doing this one of them. I think some of these are probably going to happen off stream. I'm sorry. But also, if I become the paints nothing but robin stream, I feel like people might get bored. And I don't want that for y'all. This is possibly a larger project that I'll just kind of keep revisiting, I suppose. Which is fine. I'm allowed to do that if I want to. And sometimes I do. No, I don't want to win the Euro Millions. I want to look at the, I mean, I would love to win the Euro Millions, but I'm not entering the Euro Millions, just for clarity. I just went to look up European Robin, and it was the first result but once I typed in like Euro, it was like Euro Millions, and I'm like, I mean, I'd love to win it, but first I have to pay for it, and I'm not going to win it, so like why, like, no. Anyways. Never mind. Anywho. This is very... Oh, bless. Okay, like, this robin is precious. Look at them. I do, like, as much as I was not familiar with it as someone who didn't grow up in the United Kingdom, I think having the robin as, like, a symbol of this time of year, like a Christmas thing, is real stinking cute. And I do like seeing robins out and about in, you know, sort of December-y type time. I think it's nice. I like them. I think they're cute. Obviously, or I wouldn't be painting them. Anyways, I want to do some more. I want to do some more like lore stuff with the with some of my cast of characters, like the gnome husbands and Terry the Fork Mage and stuff. I feel like I haven't done like a proper Terry art in a while, and I wanted to do, because I've done a number of rooms of Terry's house. Like, we've seen his pantry where he keeps all his potion ingredients and he makes potions. We've seen his library where he keeps all of his magic books. We've seen his like the reading nook corner of his library where he sits by the window in his comfy chair and reads his books and drinks a nice cup of tea. We've seen him taking a bath. And I'm like, maybe we should see Terry goes to bed. Just like sitting, having, you know, like a cup of tea, sitting up in bed, wearing like old school time pajamas, maybe with one of those like floppy hats. I don't know that. Maybe, no, that's stupid. But like that kind of thing, just, you know, sort of like Terry just taking a nap. I don't know. He deserves a nice nap time is my point. So I think that would be pleasant and fun. So yeah, maybe when we get back to it in the new year, I'll do some kind of Terry takes a nap artwork. Saying it out loud, it sounds real stupid, but you know, hey, if I'm not allowed to be stupid, then what are we doing here? I'm just adding a smidgen of this ochre color to our like reddish color, and I'm realizing now that that's made it too brown, so I want to brighten it up a little bit, because the orange on the tummy of the European Robin can be quite bright. So I'm bringing in the 1940 palette as well, and I'm going to add a little bit of this bad boy to the mix, because this is a really nice, slightly more vibrant orange. It's like a bright pumpkin. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's bringing it. Hell yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, I think that'll work. And I want to just water it down slightly, because I don't want it to be too... I don't want it to be too strong. The feathery texture I'm seeing here is quite soft. The surface of the, because you know some birds are quite ruffly looking if you get in close with like the way that the feathers sit very smoothly on the robin from the looks of it here. So we don't want to go overboard with texture, but we do want to make sure that there is some. Thus, here I go. Oh no, I'm nervous. Oh no. Just tiny little feathery doots, sort of, also kind of blending it in to the surrounding area. Oh, that's almost a little bit too bright again. I wonder if I want to just actually thin the color down a smidge to keep that texture nice and subtle. Ah, I'm shedding. Sorry. Keep that texture nice and subtle. I think it's probably the goal here. The distance between, keep your brush loaded but not so loaded that it puts way too much paint down every time you try and make a tiny brush stroke, is it's a struggle. I'm still having to like blot, but then I blot and then there's nothing left. Okay, maybe if I come a little bit sort of down this way. And just start adding in my little feathery doots. Also trying to be mindful of not putting them down so that they look like they're sort of arranged in extremely neat little rows, because that, like, at certainly this type of feather really isn't. So I want to make sure it doesn't look like that either. But I also want to make sure that it looks like something. Come on, there we go. There we go. Once again, I made way too much of this color, but it's fine. It's fine. There. Yay! It'll look better when the whole thing has texture, I think. Because right now it just looks weird. But I think it looks weird because, because the rest of it is just all like smooth and featureless, which is weird also. I'm gonna stick with this orange, I think, for this guy as well. I think it'll translate fine. So we'll do. No, I don't want to. American Airlines go. I just looked up the American Robin. That's obviously what I want to see pictures of. American Airlines, man. Quit it. Okay, this is likewise a very soft, smooth tummy. So I can see why. I can see why they were like, hey, this bird looks like a robin. Let's also just call it that. That's not going to cause any confusion for anyone at any point in the future. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Despite the fact that the American robin belongs to a completely different family of bird species. It's all good. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. I'm letting the texture and feathery doots be a little bit bigger on this. See how that looks. And the answer, I think, is fine. Okay. Anyways. There we go. Yay! I'm gonna take another sip. I'm running out of tea, actually, quite quickly tonight. Maybe I just haven't, hydrated enough today. I don't know. Okay. Our next tummy, I think I should do this tummy next because it's quite a light color. But it's also a number of colors. It's not just a single color all the way through. Because I should do some texture for that that orange hue, which is a brighter orange than either of the two like red tummied robins. And again, I was theorizing about this last time, but you know, it's one of those things I always noticed when I was young. It's just like, that's not red, it's orange. Why do they call it red? It's orange. And I think that just probably goes back to the fact that we didn't always have a word for orange in the English language. It's a fairly late adoption when it comes to words for colors, actually. So that'll be why. Hell yeah, that's cute as... Okay, you can't see it very well, but that's cute as heck. I'm very pleased with that. That's delightful. Cool. Good. Wonderful. Love it. Anyways, wizard. I'm gonna swap over to this palette for the moment, because the colors are much more vibrant and I want to use that nice bright yellow for our little Taiwanese friend's tummy. Because I think it'll work better than the two yellows that I have from the other palette, which are quite sort of soft and muted by comparison. I consider this a very sort of autumn-winter palette generally. It captures, you know, sort of like autumn leaf colors and sort of darker times and blue hour very well. So I like it for that. Okay. So now it's had some nice, soft, fluffy, tum tum textures in yellow. Nice, delightful. Okay. Anyways, as of press time, we're getting pretty close to the holidays. And I'm feeling pretty, I don't want to say I am feeling kind of, I'm looking forward to it this year. Some years I feel quite ambivalent about it. Some years I feel like really, I don't usually feel like, woo, yay, it's bad, but I am enjoying the little cozinesses. I think it was 2 days ago I had a mince pie for the first time this season, and I mean, it wasn't the greatest experience of my entire life, but I do like a mince pie. I think I didn't grow up with mince pies, so I'm not like as crazy about them as other folks in the UK, I think. But I do enjoy a mince pie. I think it's nice. The thing about mince pies for me is that, you know, when you eat something that just has an ungodly amount of sugar in it and it kind of burns going down, like there is like, I don't know how else to explain it. There's like, when I eat something that's like incredibly sugary sometimes, it causes like a burning sensation in my mouth. Not like a spicy burn, not like in its hot burn, but like there's a lot of sugar in this and it's making my mouth feel strange burn. And mince pies have that because they are incredibly sweet. And in fact, I think we did like an informal sort of ranking of the different types of mince pie available in our local supermarket a few years ago. And we came to the conclusion that the value range one was mid. And in fact, I don't think my local supermarket is even stocking the value range one this year. Like, I don't think I've seen it on the shelves. Which is very depressing. I feel like they've taken away quite a lot of the items in the value range, at least in my local shop. So you have no choice but to buy like the standard range ones, which are sometimes twice as expensive for really not that different in terms of quality. But in this case, I will say we go for the standard range mince pies because the value range ones were just sort of like, nah, like they're okay, but you can tell their value range. Like they're not as well filled and the pastry wasn't as good. But then the luxury ones were insanely too sweet. Like, way too sweet. And we both found them too sweet. Now, this may be me being over 40, but I do tend to value things being not too sweet when it comes to my sweets these days. Not universally across the board. Like, I will 100% just, like, neck a shooter of maple syrup and not consider that to be too sweet as an experience. But like, a mince pie can absolutely be too sweet. I've never experienced the concept of too much sugar, says Samantha. It's a really weird thing. Because, like I say, there are some things that I can enjoy in spades that are literally just pure sugar and don't taste too sweet to me. And then some things, like certain mince pie recipes, I'm just like, wow, that's so sweet. What the nuts, you know? It's very strange. Like, I would just eat, like, you know, caramel by the spoonful if I didn't have my blood sugar to worry about. But then there are some things where I'm like, yeah, that's too sweet. It's not. Nope. There's another one, marzipan. I just, you know, like, will eat marzipan. I like dark chocolate covered marzipan the best, but I will just eat marzipan. Just straight up. I would just do that. It's so good. And for a lot of people, they're like, oh no, it's way too sweet. I don't like it. But for me, I'm like, nope, it's perfect. It's perfect in every single way. It is the perfect food. And yet, I can have a mince pie and be like, even though there's like explicitly stuff in it that's not sweet, like the pastry isn't particularly sweet, but the experience as a whole is like, it burns us. Why does it feel like that? So yeah, anyways. I wanted to try, and like, I know they're expensive, but also when you can't eat wheat stuffs, you've just gotta. Sometimes you have to spend stupid money, like £3 for 4 mince pies, if you want to have mince pies. So here I am. But Marks and Sparks and Spencer's M&S, a supermarket / department store here in the United Kingdom, whose, honestly, like, I don't think their clothes are particularly expensive. I don't think, like, their department store stuff is particularly expensive, and yet their food is dummy expensive. No one does their regular grocery shop at Marks and Spencer's. It's where, and you go to Marks and Spencer's to get your bits. And by bits, I mean, like, very little, unless it's at a railway station, in which case that's probably the only place you're going to be able to get like an edible sandwich. But yeah, they have a gluten-free all butter mince pie, and that really appeals to me because I do eat dairy, so like I'm fine with like a buttery pastry, and I think generally the buttery pastries tend to be nicer than the non-buttery pastries, at least like the shop bought ones. Probably if you're vegan and you make your own pastry at home, you know how to make that absolutely heckin' slap and taste amazing. But the shop bought ones, there's just something missing in them, I find, compared to their buttery counterparts, and I don't think it tastes as good. But a lot of places like to please excuse the expression, my little friends, kill as many birds as possible with a single stone. And so you will have like a pastry or whatever that is gluten-free and also vegan. And I just really want some buttery pastry. And I was in the center of town, I think last week, running some errands, and I went into M&S to buy M&S gluten-free mince pies for like £3 for a pack of 4, which is frankly like robbery. That's crazy. I can't, like, the tax I have to pay now in order to not have wheat symptoms is freaking crazy. But with that being said, because yeah, that's the other thing also, normally mince pies come in packs of 6, the gluten-free ones come in packs of 4. Well, F me then, I guess. Anyways, but they had like a stack of them, but they were all at the very back of the top shelf, and I couldn't reach, and I didn't want to have to ask someone to help me, and they are not climbable shelves. Some supermarkets have climbable shelves. These were not climbable shelves, and I did not feel safe climbing that shelf without fear that it would collapse on top of me. So I elected to not do that, but also in the name of not wanting to draw attention to myself or have to ask someone a question when I was already feeling kind of rattled and overstimulated because the weather was bad, and I just picked up a prescription from the doctor, not the doctor, from the Boots, and I had to queue for like half an hour at Boots because there were so many people getting drugs and stuff. I just didn't want to have to bother like a staff member to get a thing of mince pies. That's just stupid. That's stupid. I don't need them. So I didn't get them. Did I get myself something? I think I bought myself some like pains au chocolat instead. I just ate those when I got home with my moderator / spouse, and they were nice. But yeah. Mince pies are a big thing here. They were not a big thing back in Canada at all. That's something that I find really interesting. I feel like I'm realizing, and I should have realized this many more years ago than I did, but I'm realizing that like Christmas, like biscuits, like cookies and biscuits and stuff, not as big of a deal at Christmas here. It's kind of more just mince pies. Unless it's like Lebkuchen, which again, is a German import. But there isn't, I don't think there's as much of a culture of like baking cookies and biscuits and stuff for Chrisman here, as there was back in the old country. And this is a tradition I will not let go of, because I like getting to bake little biscuits and cookies and treats. And I don't do it very often because it's just me and my moderator / spouse at home. And, you know, I try and eat relatively healthy, but I love baking. I've written 2 cookbooks of baking, many recipes of which I can't make for myself anymore. But you can if you want to. Did I say thank you for the lurk turnip? I can't remember. Anyways. That was like an hour ago, so I'm sorry. But I do... Don't buy my books. Or actually do buy my books, but recognize that the art style is super old now. I feel like my art has significantly grown since then, so please don't judge the art of those books, but feel free to buy them, because I do still have a few copies in my merch corner that take up a lot of space, and I would love to have that space for other things. Hey, 30 stream steak. Holy heck. Holy heck, Joe. Also, hi, Joe. Joe is currently on a 33 stream steak. Thank you so much for the 30 steaks. I hope you enjoy your 30 steaks. May they be delicious and nutritious and good. I did the thing, but I'm not here yet. Oh, you're not here. Okay, goodbye, Joe. I never saw any of that. Have a nice not being here. But also thank you for being here, even if you're not. Oh no, I'm broken. Anyways, yes, much love, friend. Much love. But also don't hang around if you're not like able to do so. It's fine. I know sometimes if I talk in a stream, but it's literally like a flying visit and I just need to be like sort of pop in like hi bye because I'm in the middle of something, but I want to, you know, sort of have it on the background or like give them some love and attention. I will often feel like, oh no, now I have to stick around because I've been drawn into the conversation kind of thing, which is part of the reason that I often just like lurk and don't talk in a lot of streams, because I'm in the middle of working on something, and if I get pulled into the conversation, then I'm just going to hang around and talk to them and not get anything done. So, you know, like much respect to the lurkers. Thank you for hanging out, but don't ever feel under any obligation to like say things if you are busy. I do try and acknowledge when people do like the lurking command or let me know that they are like here but lurking. I do try and acknowledge lurkers in a way that doesn't make them feel like I've asked you a question now. Now you're part of the conversation, even if like you legit have to like not be at your keyboard. Or you are desperately trying to get something done, you've got me on in the background. I do try really hard to be mindful of that. I'm blending together this red with some of this pink, because I'm trying to make the pink for the pink-bellied robin. And I think the best way to do it, I feel like this pink is a little bit too cool toned. This red is a little too warm toned, so I'm trying to combine the best of both worlds into one couleur and hoping that will do well for me. I think for the darker like texture editions, it probably wants to be mainly the pink and less of the red. I think that will probably work better for me. Because it's not a mega warm pink. It's just also not like a mega cool pink. It is a bright pink for sure. It's like if you look at the pink robin, and in fact, let me just no. Ah, shoot! I accidentally Xbox. No, sorry, I accidentally launched my Xbox app instead of going to browser tab. Good lord, they're so stinking cute. They're so cute. Oh my god. These little creatures give me not quite cuteness aggression, but like definitely having some feelings about it. can I get one of these to, okay, I'm gonna load this one because it's real stinking cute. If I can get this to load and not just be a tiny thumbnail size. Hell yeah, okay, we've got ourselves a pink robin, which is very cute. It also tells us some interesting things about its beak, actually. If I pull up here, okay, this is my Instagram page. But more importantly than that is, okay, first of all, here's some of my art. I'm trying my best. But more importantly than that, this guy! Hi! So you can see, like, most of the beak that you see when it's just, like, hanging out is a dark color, but actually the inside of the beak is sort of, you know, like a yellowy orange. You just don't really see much of it when it's just chilling, which I think is really interesting. But you can also see, like, the color of pink of this plumage is so incredibly vibrant. It is almost, but not quite fluorescent. It's a very, very, like, strong, bright pink. And I hope that, I'm just going to bring back our actual painting of the pink robin so that you can compare and contrast. I hope I did an okay job. Now, this is more vibrant in person than it is on camera, which is really annoying. Thanks, camera. But I'm hoping that with this line, the detail that we're adding in here will bring in some of that vibrance as well. So I'm gonna try my darn best. And the reference that I'm looking at rather on my phone here, it's got a bit more of like a fluffy puffiness to it. As you can see, it's not like a super smooth line. You can see sort of like the fluffiness of the so I feel like these feathers are quite fluffy and soft and downy and have a bit of that texture. So I'm going to try and bring that in as I fill this out with feathery doot texture. And once again, my feathery doot texture is just putting down a whole bunch of little lines because as they say in Pokemon battles, it's fairly effective. Doop doop doo. Doop 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 a doop. Okay. And I think because these are quite sort of soft, fluffy, downy little feathers, I'm going to try and make my feathery doots as little and wee as I can. Not 100% uniform in size, because they're not. But they're perfect just the way they are. Hooray. Anyways. But yeah, I hope everyone's had a good Thursday. I hope you've had a good week so far. I can't remember what all I did this week. Otherwise, I surely would relay it to you. But I genuinely don't remember. I'm sure it was fun. I'm sure it was fine. What did I do? I did a little bit of sewing, which is good. I'm in the stage of sewing my 18th century shirt where I've done the side seams. I've completed the sleeve pieces. And now what I'm doing is basically at this stage you take like little sort of like 1 inch by 1 inch roughly square patches of fabric and just sew them on top of places like where the wrist slit closes. Also, I've done side slits on the side of the sides of the shirt because it's quite a long shirt, and that just makes it easier to like tuck in and stuff if you've got a little bit of a slit on the side. So I've got that. It's about sort of this many inches, I think. So right at the top of that, I'm taking these little square patches and just putting them on where the two sides of the fabric meet. And that's just because the you know, sort of that bit of the seam where the two sides of the fabric come together and then it kind of splits off into two separate edges is a bit of a weak point. So it's really useful to have a little bit of reinforcement there because that's otherwise an area that is going to potentially like weaken where stitching is most likely to come out or like tear or anything like that the fastest. And also there are areas that may experience a little bit of strain. So you want to get in preemptively to anything happening like that, and just give it a little bit of reinforcement. So that's what I'm working on right now. Oh, and also at the front neckline, because there is, you know, sort of like a bit of a V-neck on these shirts, right? It's a pullover, but it's got a little bit of a V-neck on it. And right at the, so you literally just like cut a slit down the front of it to create that neck opening, and therefore where the fabric sort of comes apart here, and then you've got the bit where at the end of that slit that you've cut is very much a weak point and is going to want to like fray and, you know, sort of like wear out faster. So one of the ways to tackle this, some people use like a little sort of buttonhole stitch and kind of enclose it like that. But you can also use these little reinforcement patches, and that's how I'm choosing to do it. I also think that they look really cute. So it also has the side effect of they look really cute, which is fun. Yes, that's what I'm working on right now, is getting all of these little, I've got 10 of them total to sew on, and I'm doing them one by one, so it's taking a little bit of, once again, it's taking longer than I anticipated it would, so that's great. I love that for me. But that's very much what I'm working on at the moment. All right, okay. All right, and okay, we've got a pink tummied Australian pink robin. Very cute. A little strawberry buddy. Hey, yay, love it. Okay, and what do I want to do? I think next I'm going to start working on sort of the lighter brown plumage and getting some textures into that. We've got some different textures to play with there, so that'll be an interesting, fun time, I'm sure. So I will make a start on that. We are getting close to the top of the hour, so possibly we might run into ads in a few minutes, but we probably have a little bit of time before we do, which is great. So I shall attempt to do that. I don't know. Anyways, I might not go on too much longer, actually. Just because I'm tired. I'm tired, and it seems like it's a quiet time today, so, I don't know. I did contemplate doing a game stream today, but I was like, I wanna paint, though. I wanted to paint, so here I am. Anyways. Okay. Good. Done. Cool. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's bring back these guys, because we need some browns and some grayish browns, and these are our best choices, I think, for browns and grayish browns, because there's brown paint in this set, so hooray. To the, like, intelligence agent that's been reading my search history, they're like, man, this person really loves robins. So, yes, correct, good job. Oh my god, they're so cute. Oh, they're so cute. Look at them. This is honestly the thing that's giving me the most, like, stress about this project, is just they're already so cute in real life. I don't feel like I can do them justice, because they're so cute. How could I ever make something as cute as them? Challenge rating impossible. Thank you for the hydrate Q2s. I am nearly finished this stone cold tea. Yippee. Good. Delicious. Okay. I'm not sure this brown isn't quite the vibe. But actually, looking at the example of robin I've just pulled up on my phone, it's a slightly warmer brown again. Because I guess, you know, like, plumage exists in nature and not every color is identical in nature. But it's also making it really hard. Because I just keep, instead of having, like, a single solid reference image, I'm, like, looking up different references. I'm just Google searching it over again every time. Yeah, that's definitely having an effect. Okay, so the lower... wing texture is kind of like a this bad boy. So I'll add in some of that, but then it gets a little bit fluffy. It gets a little bit fluffy above that, so I can get a little bit fluffy as well. So I shall do that. Doot. If I can get enough gubbins on my brush, I can doot. Hell yeah, okay, cool. Oh, the other thing that I was thinking about is that I don't tend to watch a lot of like Christmas movies, like holiday movies. I don't really have a big tradition of that. I used to watch It's a Wonderful Life every year with my parents because that movie slaps and it's very, very good. But my moderator / spouse has never seen it, and I honestly don't know if it would be his bag. Though it is mine. I cry every time. But I was thinking about, you know what I haven't seen in absolute, like, yonks that is such a good movie? Is The Muppet Christmas Carol. And specifically, I saw a post, like a social post breaking down, like, the costumes, the historical costume detail in A Muppet Christmas Carol. And if you're not familiar, the costuming in The Muppet Christmas Carol is absolutely stunning. Like, to an extent that you wouldn't think that a Muppet movie would bother to do. And yet the costume designers on this project, they put in the work, they put in the research, and they produced really good like the detail on these costumes. For instance, you have like, you know, sort of Bob Cratchit and his family. You notice, for instance, that like the dad of the family is wearing clothes that, if you look at the details on them, like the details on the front of his trousers, based on the time period that this film is set in, are about 15 years out of date. And you might think to yourself, like, oh, is that a little bit anachronistic? No. The reason, obviously, he has no money. He has a bunch of kids. He is the single income earner for this, like, huge family. And he's making, like, very little money working for Mr. Scrooge, right? And so it makes sense that his clothes are several years out of date. He's been wearing the same clothes for years. You notice there's details on like some of the children's clothing. You can see where a seam has been let out because they can't afford to just buy a new coat just because little Peter has gotten bigger, right? Like, so he's wearing the same thing that he probably wore a year ago. They've just had to like adapt it so that it fits now that he's grown up a bit. I just like the attention to detail. Likewise, when we see like the flashback scenes to, you know, sort of like young Scrooge, we're looking at the clothes people are wearing are very distinctly of like several decades earlier than the general setting of the film. And they did a very good job being mindful of things like that. Like, you know, like the hairstyles are different, the dress silhouettes are different, the coats are different. It's so detailed for a Muppets movie. Like, the two women who led on the costume creation for this just put in so much work and love for it. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's such a good movie. And just generally, it is fun and joyful, and the songs are delightful, and I love it so much. It's so good. About 100,000 times better than the adaptation of A Christmas Carol that I starred in on the stage. I was in a stage production of Scrooge the Musical. It was not very good. Anyways, Samantha says, the best Christmas Carol adaptation ever made. I wholeheartedly agree. Taz, hello! Thank you for the festive cheer. I hope you're well. It's lovely to see you. Burbs, sister. Burbs. Burbs indeed. Welcome to the Burbs. Here they are. Anyways, hope you're well. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. We are about to jump into ads, but we've got about a minute, so I'm just going to vamp because I don't want to start painting anything at this point because I don't have very much time to Dude, Merry Thursday, says Tals, and a Merry Thursday to you too, my friend. I don't know why I said that. I'm tired, says Joe. Day 4 of work. Yay, but you did it! You made it! You did it! Yay! Treat yourself to, I don't know, an easy dinner and some rest and relaxation. You deserve it. Speaking of rest and relaxation, I'm playing Silk Song tomorrow morning, and I'm real nervous because, well, it's been a week since I attempted that fight, and that fight is hard, and I don't want to do 3 hours of attempting that fight. There's other stuff that I want to go back and do in some of the other areas of the game that we've been to that I wasn't able to do before, but I'm able to do now. So I'm hoping that we'll get to do all that stuff tomorrow, at least some of that stuff tomorrow. But we'll see how long it takes me to do the boss fight, because it's been a while since I attempted it. Aw, heck. Anyways, we're about to have an ad break, so I'm gonna pop the BRB screen on so you don't miss anything. I think it's called The Last Judge. It's right before, like, the big gate to the Citadel, and they've got, like, a big tea infuser / incense burner that they hit you with. It's a fun fight, and I'm looking forward to trying it again. But it's been a while since I did it, so, yeah. I like that guy. I think they're fun. But the flames are a bit annoying, and the run back is a bit of a length, but that's fine. It's fine to worry about. The big tea infuser, like, listen, I've already got a cup of tea. It's fine. I don't need another one. Anyways, ads are about to run, so I'm gonna BRB. And I'll tell you more about it afterwards. Be right back, everybody. What's up, nerds? I'm back, hey. Alright. It is resuming our painting time. Hooray. Hello. Anyways, so some chit-chat, just before the break. We were talking about the fight that I have to do in Silk Song tomorrow on stream. And I'm gonna try and pull up Last Judge, I think their name is. But something that did occur to me, and I cannot believe how long it took for this to occur to me. I am very intelligent. Is that the boss uses fire in their attacks. What if I equipped the thing that I have in my arsenal that protects me against fire? I'm gonna try. Don't tell me whether or not that helps, because I want to find out. No spoilies in the chat, please. But, I'm gonna try that. Let's see if that makes the fight go better. Then we do have a very helpful pro strat from Samantha here that I will read out. She says the trick is to hit him lots while not letting him hit you. And I cannot believe I didn't think of that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. A plan, says Tells. A plan. I mean, my other genuinely, my strats that if I remember to do them, I will consider is to see whether or not using the, like, thing that protects me against, like, fire and stuff gives me some protection against, like, fire attacks from this fight. I don't know whether or not it will. In my head, I think of it as, like, protects you against lava, but they're both heat and flame-based things. Like, lava hot, fire hot. So if it protects against lava, maybe it'll protect against fire. I don't know. It's worth a shot. And if it doesn't work, I'll just switch it up again. It's fine. Anyways, and the other thing was to just, you know, like, don't get hit. Which sounds really stupid, but, like, just don't get hit. The other thing that I wanted to do is do some gambling, with there's a little guy. There's a little guy at the, sort of near where you bench that has a set of dice, and he'll, like, gamble with you, and that's really cute and fun, and I enjoy it. But also, crucially, I want to see if I can win his little dice rolling match, because I think that would be cool. Okay, we've got some little tail feathers here. Pigeon, hello! Forbes, says Pigeon. Hell yeah. How are you doing? Welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Not getting hit is the thing that I struggle with, says Stalls. I want to whack, 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 not dodge, dodge, dodge. Yeah, it does take a little bit of... And when I say a little bit, what I mean is like a lot bit. It takes a lot bit of patience, I think. And sometimes I worry that, like, I do be at times very, like... Sometimes I just get impatient and I just sort of overzealously come in and get hit lots and just be like, okay, I'm going to tank a bit. I'm going to take some hits. It's fine. But then I die because I sort of overzealously went in whack, 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 whack. But then sometimes I will genuinely, like, just hide. There are certain fights and certain encounters where you can kind of just hide for periods. And then just sort of, like, hop into the right place, hit them, like, once, and then go hide again for, like, a minute. And I worry that that's really boring to watch. But on the other hand, it is a strat that gets me killed less often. And I do enjoy not getting killed as much. I actually saw, so the fight that we're doing tomorrow in Silksong stream, I saw a video from somebody on the YouTubes where they talked about how that was the fight that made them stop playing. And it was because they disliked the length of the run back that you have to do every time you die. I actually find it not that bad. There are worse run backs, I think, that I've experienced. Like this one, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. For me personally, obviously your mileage may vary as to what you consider to be, like, a deeply annoying run back. But I found the run back not that bad. The find a corner strat, says Tals. Yes, that's how I beat, what's her name? Oh god, what was her name? She makes a horrible screeching noise, and she's got kind of a spidery vibe, and she sort of, like, skitters across the floor, and then she, like, pulls on threads that makes, like, bells fall from the ceiling. That lady. My strat for that fight was I discovered a cheese widow. That was it, the widow fight, but the one that unlocks, that saves the town of Bellheart. My strat for that fight was, and if you don't want to know how to beat that fight with relative ease, you might want to just, like, mute me for a second. I'll indicate in chat when it's safe to listen to me again. Now then, for everyone who's here and doesn't care about spoilies and is okay with hearing what my cheese is, if you stand directly next to, like, the gate, like the doorway, the wall, whatever, on the right-hand side, you won't get hit by any falling bells during the second phase. The first phase of the fight, I just found you kind of get, like, a rhythm going. Also, Pigeon, thank you very much for the 10 stream steak. I hope you enjoy your 10 steaks. Thank you, thank you. It's wonderful to see you as always. But yeah, if you stand in the second phase of the fight where things get a little bit more manic and harder to manage, if you stand on the far, like, right-hand side wall, you won't get hit by any falling bells. So all you have to dodge is when she does her, like, skitter across the floor at you attack, and you can just jump and then sort of, like, pogo off her and do an attack then. Combine that with using ranged weapons, like if you have any, like, darts or throwing pins or anything like that. It is the strat that made the fight beatable for me, effectively, because before that, woof. So yeah, that's my cheese for that fight. Kind of like, I don't know, like, if it's something that you can do in the game, I figure that it's not cheating, even if it's a bit of a cheese. In the same way that when I did the first bone ant fight, when you go into Hunter's March, which is like ant land, if you lure the bone ant into the corridor where the ceiling is significantly lower, he can't do his jump attack, which in turn made it way easier to beat him. So I enjoyed that. Though oddly, the second time I did the bone ant fight, I discovered that you can just dash under under him when he does a jump attack, but I don't think I had dash the first time I fought Bone Ant, so actually I wouldn't have been able to, so never mind. Anyways, I still... Oh yeah, anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled for the cheese can come back now. Cheese is over. Okay. I still hear that as Bone Aunt, as in A-U-N-T ant. Which is... I mean, maybe there's a Bone Ant character in the game as well who's just like... Who's just, I don't know, she's kind of an auntie situation. She's like, oh, do come in. You know, here, have all the treats that your parents won't buy you. I'm the cool aunt. And then she tries to steal your bones and you do a boss fight. Like, that would be fun. Also, frankly, terrifying. Cool, anyways. What was my point? I did have one. I'm sure I did. I forget. Oh, no. But yeah, good fight. To anyone who's here and is not familiar with Silksong at all, I'm sorry. But I find it fun to talk about. Anyways, but yeah. Bone Auntie. My throat is giving me some trouble. Probably not going to stay on too much longer because my throat is giving me some trouble. Now, I'm looking at the plumage of the American Robin. And the head plumage is quite smooth. There's not a lot of little bits happening up there, so I don't necessarily want to add too much of a muchness of a texture, but I will just make up a little bit of a brown for a little bit of a textury situation, because right now it looks very incomplete. I feel like, oh, let me just get rid of that bead of water off the ferrule. But anyways, yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting back into that tomorrow. I think it'll be a nice, fun time. And yes. What was my point? I don't know. Anyways, yes, playing Silksong again tomorrow. Oh yeah, I saw, so another thing that I witnessed recently was a, I think it was Outside Xbox or Outside Extra did a video yesterday where they did a, like, video game music quiz. And I can proudly confirm that I got a number of things that no one on the presenters team got, sort of doing the quiz along with them at home. So I feel quite good about that. But one of the things that I got within... They basically heard 1 second of video game music and then had to guess what it was. And I got do. I'm like, well, I know what that is. Because it's do. Which I have heard so many ding-dang times in my life now. Because of the years that I have streamed playing Hollow Knight. Also, I got Celeste. I think I was the only... I don't think any of them got Celeste, but I was like, that's Celeste! Which I haven't played in ages, but I love the music for Celeste. I think it's very good. It's also the game that confirms that canonically, when you come out as a trans woman, you get the power of double jump, which I absolutely love for my trans sisters out there. Enjoy your double jump, friends. Anyways, so that's, I watched that today, and me too on getting some they didn't. Hell yeah, Hollow Knight I also got instantly. I am unsurprised. I believe Celeste and Undertale I got that they didn't. Oh yeah, Undertale, like, I played Undertale once, and it wasn't even my favorite game, but I just heard do and I was like, that's Undertale, I think. I also got Mega Man, the Mega Man game, but that's, okay, so you know, we're not big fans of Spotify these days, but in years past we all got our Spotify Wraps that told us how much music we listened to and what our top music listening doodads were on that platform. And I think it was 2 years ago that my top music artist on Spotify was Capcom Sound Team. Why was Capcom Sound Team my number one top listened artist? Because I went through a period of listening to the Mega Man 2 and 3 soundtracks over and over and over again. Because I'm a big fan of whoever composed that music. It just, every track on those games absolutely heckin' slaps. So good. Samantha says, it's true, HRT gives you double jump. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love that for y'all. Love that, says Styles. Absolutely agree. Samantha says, yes, the Undertale song was in the first bars of Megalovania, a song I have never heard in game because I never did that route to get that boss fight. Yeah, I don't think I did either. I think I've just heard it in other places and I was like, oh yeah, that's a song from Undertale. I played Undertale a grand total of once. I got to the last boss fight of that run, and I was like, I hate this, and this isn't fun, so I stopped playing and never looked at it again. Partially because I was doing it on stream, and okay, spoilers for Undertale, so again, if you don't want to be spoiled for the game Undertale that's been out for like at least 10 years, I feel like, just mute now, and I will put in chat when you can come back. There is a boss fight in Undertale towards the end of, like, the run, where if you die, it closes out of the game. And so I would have to reboot the game every single time, which when you're streaming is deeply annoying and frustrating to do. So, no, I wasn't a fan of that. Anyways, my moderator/spouse is home. I will be back in just a second, and I'm putting spoilies done in chat. Okay, one moment, please. Darling! I'm so glad you're home. You've got a bag of stuff. Oh, is this your... Oh.
Sebastian needs some surgery. Needs some surgical work. So.
Oh, he needs some surgery? Oh, what's up? Oh, that's easily taken care of. No problem. Hi, Sebastian. Welcome home. Anyways, congratulations on your box, and congratulations on adopting Sebastian. Hi, baby.
That's the traditional Christmas hamper.
Ooh, we got a hamper. Nice. Well, you got a hamper. Enjoy your treats.
Yeah, right.
That you don't have to share with me, but also we're married, so.
As we said, every year the treat to filling ratio, treat to padding ratio seems to be getting more.
Just love.
It's free share.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I also, my padding seems to increase with every passing year as well. But I'm still full of treats. I love you too. Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. Anyways, but yeah, that was, I feel like it's been long enough that I can speak candidly about this. That was a difficult game for me to stream. And I don't know if, I think sometimes playing a game for the first time on stream, most of the time I find it to be a really fun experience, but every once in a while it becomes a somewhat stressful experience when you have a game that has a very passionate set of fans. And this is no fault of the very passionate fans. I love that for them. I'm very happy for them. But also I know that sometimes very passionate fans take a lot of enjoyment in watching other people experiencing something that they love for the first time. But there's also, therefore, that expectation that that person, you're going to get to experience that person's, like, surprise and delight at the things they're experiencing for the first time. What's up, babe?
Hi, I was literally going to grab a jumper.
Oh, okay. It looked like you were about to say something. It's fine. Anyways, sorry.
The word portal comes to me.
I was coming to that.
Okay.
Anyways, Joe says hi, by the way, sweetheart.
Hey, Joe!
I don't know if you heard, but he said hi. Anyways, but yeah, experiencing something for the first time on a live stream, a little bit stressful because you did hear, okay, rad. I don't want to, I feel, there's people there who are like, oh man, you're about to encounter something cool. Well, I mean, that's getting into your spoilering territory. But when you do encounter the cool thing, they're like, oh, you encountered the thing. Oh, you did it this way. Oh, this is neat. Blah, blah, blah. I love seeing people react to this thing for the first time. It's like reliving it. And that makes me feel like, geez, if I don't enjoy this, it's gonna make people feel sad or bad, or possibly also start telling me that the only reason that I'm not enjoying it is because I'm doing it wrong in some way. I feel like there's a lot of defense for things that people enjoy that effectively amounts to, if you didn't like this, it's because you experienced it wrong and you should have done this rather than that, or something like that. And in some cases maybe that's true, but like, how are you supposed to know? You're doing it for the first time, right? But so I didn't want to disappoint the people who were there just to watch somebody play Undertale for the first time. And for the most part, I did enjoy it. But when it got to the ending, and I would say the last two boss fights, and sort of the lead up to the last two boss fights, where you get a lot of the lore and stuff, there were some things about, like, sort of the messaging and the storyline that made me kind of feel uncomfortable. And then the final boss fight was just a lot of stuff that I really don't enjoy in games. So I did it. I made about 5 attempts at it. Was like, I don't want to. And I was about 30 minutes into stream at this point, so I just closed out of the game, changed the game category, and just played Stardew Valley or something for the rest of the stream. And I felt so guilty about it. And the fact that I still remember this and it's been years, I feel bad. Because I know that there were people who were probably let down by the fact that, like, oh, this person just doesn't understand. Like, they don't get it. Or they're just not doing it right. It's the reason you don't like it is a skill issue or something like that. Or you just didn't understand the brief going in, whatever. And it's like, no, this experience just isn't for me. And that's okay. It is for a lot of other people, and I'm very happy for them. In the same way that a lot of people tell me that, like, I could never play a game like Hollow Knight or Silksong because I'm bad at it. I don't enjoy Metroidvanias. I find, you know, like, elements of it really frustrating. Like the person who I saw who quit out of Silksong and stopped playing at the boss fight that I'm about to attempt to do again tomorrow morning because they found the run back really, like, long and annoying. They found the fight punishingly difficult. And then when they finally beat the fight for the first time, I think they said that they got hit by the boss at the exact same moment that the boss died, so it didn't count and they had to go back and do it again, which has happened to me. And it's deeply annoying when it's like, but I killed that guy. What do you mean I just died and I have to go do it again? No. But I mean, I've had similar like arguments with people about, like, oh, you're just not enjoying it correctly. Like, for instance, I'm not a really big alcohol drinker, and one of the alcohols that I really don't enjoy is gin. I think it tastes bad. But I've been told that it's like, oh, you just haven't had, like, good quality gins, and there are different types of gin that use different botanicals. They taste different, and I'm like, yeah, but there is something fundamental about all of them that I don't enjoy. And that's that it's an alcohol that has a lot of alcohol in it, and in general, I don't enjoy alcoholic drinks. Period. No amount of, this is a super high quality craft gin made with interesting botanicals that are different to the ones you've probably had at a bar is gonna make me like gin if I don't like, in essence, what gin is. And I don't. You know? But on the other hand, I like tea. But if someone, like, dislikes the fundamental attributes of tea, I'm not going to tell them, oh, you just need to try this, like, you know, summer Darjeeling, which still tastes like tea, but it's better. Like, you'll probably still not like it. And that's okay. You might be like, actually, yeah, I do want to try some different teas. And maybe they'll find a tea that they do like. I don't know. But, like, if someone tells me they don't like tea, I'm not going to tell them, oh, you just haven't had the right one. Like, that's weird, you know? Like, if someone tells you that... Okay, this is a horrible example, but what popped in my mind is if someone tells you that they're a lesbian, you don't tell them you just haven't met the right man yet. You know? Anyways, Pigeon says I like gin, but I absolutely respect when people say they don't like it. It's a weird-ass taste. It is a weird-ass taste. And it's not a taste for me personally. but it's a taste for a lot of people, and that's cool. I'm happy for them. Likewise, Okay, I'm gonna be real. I would probably have a better time if I'd played this off stream for the first time, but I played Portal for the first time on a stream, and I had time. And Portal is a game that people get real into liking, which I think was the problem. Because I was playing with an audience of people who all really loved Portal, and I was struggling and not knowing how to do certain things, and I could feel the eyes on me judging me for not being able to figure out, like, this room's puzzle, or, you know, forgetting to look up or whatever. Bearing in mind that I don't play a lot of 3D games, I tend to play a lot of 2D games. So having to incorporate a third dimension into my gaming experience is something that I'm not great at, especially in the first person. I play a lot of third person 2D games. So changing to a first person 3D game, I'm already thrown. Plus, I'm streaming. I'm doing this before a live audience. I have to, at the same time that I'm playing the game, I'm also monitoring chat to make sure that I'm talking to people. And I'm also making sure that there's nobody doing anything like malicious or breaking the rules in my chat. All of this is happening simultaneously while I'm trying to solve puzzles in a game that I'm not familiar with, of a game style that I'm not super experienced in. And I struggled, and I had a difficult time, and I just felt like people in the audience were getting frustrated with me, and it made it really hard to enjoy myself playing the game, and I haven't picked it up since. One of the worst parts of it was at the end of the stream, I raided into the stream of a friend of mine, who was like, hey, how's it going? What were you up to? And I was like, oh, I was playing Portal for the first time. And they were like, oh my god, that's so exciting. I love that. It's the best game ever. Did you have the best time ever? Was it amazing? Did you have an amazing time? I bet you had an amazing time. It's the best game. It's my favorite game. I love it so much. And I was just like, yeah, I had fun. Because I didn't want them to be disappointed or think less of me for not having had a great time with the thing that they are super into. Anyways, but I'm pretty sure if I picked it up again at some point off stream, I would probably have a lovely time, because it is fun. It is fun, and the mechanics are neat, and it's a good time. I just had a terrible time because A, I was naturally bad at it, and B, I was naturally bad at it before a live studio audience who were largely super experienced in it, had played it multiple times, and therefore knew how to solve all of these puzzles whilst I didn't. And some of whom may have forgotten that what it feels like to do this for the first time and not already know all the answers. So, there you go. Anyways, Samantha says, I like my tea like I like my men. No. Yep, perfect. Pigeon says, my mother-in-law literally said that about my partner. I don't know what it was that I said, but oh gosh. Anyways, Tal says gin is icky. Yep. They also said some people do struggle with the idea that different people can like different things. I know, like a wild concept, but some people can like different things. Not everyone's favorite Star Trek is Deep Space Nine, but mine sure is. Here's a partially completed painting of Jake and Nog having a nice time. It looks bad right now because it's not done. Also, tomorrow is the anniversary. It's the 1-year anniversary of my favorite romantic pair of that space station finally being canonically romantic. Unambiguously so. And I'm very excited about that. I fully plan to celebrate. In case you don't know of who is it? I have plushes of them. That's how much I love these two. Anyways, they're gonna go back to snuggling over there. But anywho, you're only dating each other because you don't have any men that you know, my mother-in-law said. No! Pigeon, no! There's a great reason why we didn't have any men hanging around us. I wonder what that could be. Oh my god. No! people do say and think that in real life, which is just like, oh, I don't know how to explain to you, friends, but your experience is not universal. Like, it really isn't. Anywho, I've gotten onto such a conversational track that I haven't painted anything, I think, in about half an hour. I'm not complaining about this, by the way, but I am probably going to need to finish soon. So, apologies for that. Also, I'm just noticing, wow, the ends of my hair are so dry. Because I haven't conditioned it in many days. Anywho, after nearly 2 decades, she's finally coming around. Aw, that's good. I'm sorry it's taken that long, but that's good to hear. Anywho, I think okay. Talking is hard because I've said a lot. So I think I'm gonna wrap up this bobbin's wing in some beautiful brown plumagey details, and then I'll probably call it for today. So first of all, we've got kind of a one of these textures going. And then we've got some long textures along the remainder of the wing. So let me try and paint these in. This paint is maybe a little bit too watered down for this, but it's fine. It's fine. I think it'll be fine anyways. But yeah, as aforementioned, playing a fiddle song tomorrow, and looking forward to that. I think it'll be a nice time. Next week, as far as I'm concerned, a regular week of streams. Maybe I will do a game stream next Thursday. I don't really have plans for next week's artwork. I do want to do a like a lino cut print sometime soon. I was reminded of one that I did a little while ago. I posted some video of it that I found on my phone, and I was like, oh hey, that's neat, I will share it. So I did, and it just got me thinking about how fun that is as a medium, and how I haven't done any lino cut prints in a while, so it would be nice to do it, I think. So yeah, that's a possible I mean, don't quote me on that, because, you know, my mind, she is changeable. So I may end up doing something else, but I think that might be, if I can think of something that I do want to commit to a piece of linoleum, I would definitely enjoy doing that, I think. Just trying to layer this up a bit so it gets a little bit more defined. Hell yeah. Okay, fun. Our burbs are developing texture, and I love that for them. I think they are looking fairly cute. I'm sorry I didn't get more done, but also thank you so much for chatting with me about stuff all day. That was very fun, and I've had a really nice time hanging with y'all, as always. Anywho, going to, before it catapults us into ads another time, I think I'm going to call it there. See if there's someone we can do a little raid on, if anyone's live doing something fun, interesting, someone we haven't said hello to in a while. Oh! Okay, yeah, they're doing a game stream, but this is a friend who I think took a little bit of a break from streaming, but seems to have, if it will load, will it what is my, okay, my Twitch stream manager is broken from the looks of it. Oh no, am I still live? Hello? Okay, I might not be able to raid grayed out because it seems like it's having a bit of a moment. What if I do? Can I do it this way? I'm gonna try doing it this way. Okay. Let me just make sure that I've got the username right. If I can do that, is that gonna make us rate? Are we rating? I hope. Yay! Okay, we're rating. Cool. Sorry. My Twitch website is broken, so I may not be joining you on the raid. But I will pop a generic raid message in the chat anyways. And thank you all very much for hanging out with me today. I've had a really nice time just chatting and doing some painting with y'all. So here's a generic raid message. If you have the emotes, feel free to grab the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message and feel free to append any cool emotes that you do have. It's all good. In the meantime, I would like to thank you all very much for hanging out today. I've had a lovely time. Sorry, things seem to be going a little bit haywire right at the end here, but never mind. So it goes. It's a live stream, and things go wrong sometimes. It's all good. I'll be back tomorrow morning. In the meantime, have a good evening. Thank you very much for watching. Good night, and good luck.